KPBS On Demand is supported by Alliance San Diego, reminding you to vote early. Return your ballot at any drop box or vote in person at any vote center. And remember, you have the right to vote as long as you're in line on Election Day by 8 p.m. Visit alliancesd.org for more.
Good morning, I'm Lawrence K. Jackson. It's Monday, June 1st. We spoke with 48 Congressional District candidates from both sides of the aisle that want your vote. More on that next, but first, the headlines. A collaboration between the county and the San Diego Foundation is stepping in to provide financial support for more than 150 households that are at risk of homelessness. The public-private philanthropic program is called the Partnership to Protect San Diegans. Its main purpose is to fill financial gaps caused by federal cuts. $500,000 is being granted to the San Diego Housing Commission to provide support to a total of 155 households. Today is the start of the United States Postal Service's National Dog Bite Awareness Campaign. San Diego has a reputation as one of the more dog-friendly cities in America. The city also landed on the top 10 list for cities with the most dog bites and other dog-related incidents. The Postal Service says that in the last year, there were more than 32 incidents in San Diego involving mail carriers and 60 throughout the county. One tip offered to dog owners to help keep mail carriers safe is to sign up for informed delivery to see when your mail will arrive so you can secure your dog beforehand. Another purpose of the Awareness Month is to provide safety training for mail carriers. The only 3 Michelin-starred restaurant in the county is also now ranked as a top 50 restaurant in the entire country. Carmel Valley's Addison by William Bradley has been ranked as the 31st best restaurant in North America for 2026 by the 50 Best brand. 50 Best cites things like Addison's chef-driven seasonal multi-course tasting menu and what they call the perfect pairings from their beverage program as reasons for making the list. Tomorrow is the last day to vote in California's primary election. If you're still undecided on a race or two, visit our voter hub at kpbs.org. It's a nonpartisan voting guide. From KPBS, you're listening to San Diego News Now. Stay with me for more of the local news you need.
KPBS On Demand is supported by ACLU of San Diego and Imperial Counties. The work of the ACLU is about closing the gap between the America that was promised and the America that is. Learn more at www.aclu-sdic.org.
The race to represent California's 48th Congressional District is being closely watched. Democrats hope to flip the currently red seat to blue to retake control of the House. Republicans are hoping they can hold on to it. County Supervisor Jim Desmond is the leading Republican in the race, but Public Matters reporter Jake Gatta spoke to a different Republican vying for the district.
Did you know there's a Republican running in the 48th Congressional District who's not Jim Desmond? His name is Kevin O'Neill, and he's tired of the status quo.
So I want to go to Congress, and I'm simply saying, number one, we're tired of the corruption. Some of you have been in there 25, 30 years. I want term limits. My priorities is one, lower the cost of living, fight inflation, reduce government waste, and cut the bureaucratic red tape.
O'Neill also said one of his concerns is artificial intelligence and the growth of data centers to support AI.
If you're going to build these massive AI data centers, you use that much water, that much electricity, and so many communities across the United States are going, no, you cannot build that thing in our backyard.
And he said he's not against bipartisanship.
I will gladly work with any Democrat, any independent on those issues. I was on this NAACP forum for candidates just a week ago. I was the only Republican to show up to that. Desmond did not show up. And I will go into Congress and I will do the best I can to eliminate and shut down the fraud, waste, and abuse.
Jake Gatta, KPBS News.
Desmond did not respond to multiple requests for an interview with KPBS. The 3 leading Democratic candidates running to represent the 48th Congressional District joined Midday Edition host Jade Hindman last week to talk about their campaigns. Public Matters reporter Jake Gatta says this was a chance to see the differences and similarities between them.
California's 48th district is one of 5 Republican-held seats that was redrawn by Prop 50 to favor Democrats. Multiple Democrats are running to replace retiring Congressman Darrell Issa. Leading candidates Amar Campo-Najjar, Brandon Riker, and Marnie Von Wilper joined KPBS to tell us why they're the right Democrat for the job. While all 3 have a lot in common, they did have some different ideas when asked about some key issues, like Trump's immigration crackdown. Here's what Campo-Najjar said about that.
So number one, I think we have to take on ICE. I believe we have to dismantle and abolish ICE and replace it with an organization that will lawfully and ethically do its job, not killing Americans and immigrants in broad daylight in major American cities. I don't think ICE is fixable. I think we need to create a new agency that's housed in the DOJ instead of the Department of Homeland Security.
Von Wilpert leaned on her record as a city council member.
I'm not waiting till I get to Congress to start fighting ICE. I actually led the vote at the city of San Diego to sue ICE, take them to court to stop their raids in our communities. We also voted to prevent ICE from coming on city property without a warrant, stop these maskless raids they're doing. So in Congress, I will continue to fight back.
And Riker made the point that U.S. foreign policy can have impacts at home.
What I will say about immigration, and this is something that I wish Democrats talked about more, when you cut off programs like USAID and programs like PEPFAR and across the board, that's going to lead to more immigration in the future. And that's something that Democrats, I don't think, have campaigned enough on, is that Trump is causing an immigration crisis generation from now or a couple years from now because of what this administration has done.
When asked about housing affordability, Riker also had a unique take.
We've got to bring jobs out of urban centers so that people don't have to commute as far as we continue to build homes. We talk a lot about permitting reform and making housing more dense, and that works in cities like San Diego or Los Angeles. It gets a little harder when you get out in the suburbs, so you already have fairly less dense housing. So what we got to do is put housing near transit to make sure people can get to work, but also bring those small businesses out of the cities and make sure small businesses can thrive.
Von Wilpert again spoke about her success on that front at the city council.
Here at the city of San Diego, we started cutting the bureaucracy and red tape that was making it costlier to build affordable housing. Affordable developers are now guaranteed a housing permit within 30 days, so we don't add to their costs.
And Campo-Najjar said he would back efforts to support home ownership.
When it comes to housing, there's a bill by Senator Warnock to give a $25,000 down payment to first-time home buyers. How do we pay for that? By asking billionaires just to pay a little bit more.
For more on each candidate's priorities, make sure you go to the KPBS Voter Hub at kpbs.org/voterhub and turn in your ballot by Tuesday. Jake Gata, KPBS News.
Faculty at the University of California are calling on the UC system to bring back standardized tests in its admissions process. Education reporter Katie Anastas says it comes as more and more students are taking remedial math courses.
Nearly 1,000 faculty members at University of California campuses have signed a letter asking for the change. More than 200 of them are from UC San Diego. It calls for the university to reinstate an SAT or ACT math requirement for applicants to STEM majors. The UC Board of Regents voted to eliminate the requirement in 2020. In November, a UC San Diego faculty senate group said more and more students are taking remedial math courses. They said admissions staff are relying more heavily on high school grades.
We would be foolish to believe that high school GPA means the same thing at different schools.
Julian Betts is an economics professor at UC San Diego who signed the letter. He spoke to the Board of Regents before its decision in 2020.
A good solution to this problem would be what? A standardized and objective test.
In a statement, UC Academic Senate Chair Ahmed Palazoglu said faculty plan to work with state and K-12 leaders on college readiness. Katie Anastas, KPBS News.
Food banks are bracing for more hungry families as stricter rules for federal food assistance take effect today. Reporter Tammy Murga says Father Joe's Villages is rationing food to prepare for a growing need.
Father Joe's Villages says it ran out of food for the first time during a distribution event in mid-May. Josh Bohannon is with the nonprofit. He attributes a growing need for emergency food to changes to CalFresh benefits.
That's going to be more and more people who are going to be relying on the food banks and Father Joe's Villages for support, and there's only so much to go around.
The new rules will require some adults to work or volunteer for 80 hours a month, and they'll affect veterans and homeless people unless they are excused for other reasons. Joanne Trujillo is also with Father Joe's Villages. She says they rationed food on Friday in hopes of feeding everyone.
We're doubling it up today. I'm going to say we have about hopefully 600 bags to help out, and I'm hoping that's enough.
The organization says it fed more than 1,000 people. It depleted nearly all of Friday's allotment. Tammy Murga, KPBS News.
A local author has released her second book that explores Punjabi history and food traditions in the United States. Arts reporter Audie McAfee tells us how the book came to be.
Madhushri Ghosh is the author of Safar, Finding Home, History, and Culture Through Punjabi Food in the American West. She wrote the book after learning more about Punjabi immigration to the United States. She also became interested in the cultural intersections that formed along the way.
I started asking myself, what do these waves mean? And then how do people, a community like that, especially the Sikh community that holds on to prayer, holds on to faith, holds on to feeding as a service, how do they continue to stay strong as a community in this city?
The book also explores recipes Ghosh learned through her experiences with Punjabi culture and from her own upbringing. She says she wants people to relate to her story.
I hope people go back and look at Safar and find my journey to be similar to theirs, the questions that they've had about their identity similar to mine, and the ability to hope in a phase of our history where hope just isn't a strategy.
Audie McAfee, KPBS News.
Bernal Books was recently hit with its third rent hike in 3 years and may be forced to relocate. Arts reporter Beth Accomando explains why independent bookstores like this are vital to San Diego.
Bernal Books is not your typical bookstore. It's not even a typical indie one. It's more like a community space where people can gather, collaborate, or just chill. Sure, it sells books, but it's also a risograph print shop.
It's like the biggest, oldest, clunkiest looking copy machine, but what it does is pretty amazing. It's a stencil duplicator, so it's going to take any image that you send it and it's going to interpret it into a stencil, and then this is going to spin really fast while the paper passes underneath, and it can make like an enormous edition of prints so quickly.
That's Amanda Burnell, co-founder of Bernal Books.
We love sharing research printing and hosting workshops, and it's a really fun way to make a bunch of really colorful prints on the cheap.
And make zines, says co-founder Nick Burnell.
For me, zines are one of the greatest accessible forms of expression. So it's really just paper folded, stapled together. We invite people into the space to make zines, to print, to have like active participation with other members of our community around art as a center point.
Located on Adams Avenue in Normal Heights, Bernal Books is a small, joyously cluttered space that invites exploration through its nooks and crannies for books, gifts, and vinyl.
And we started as Bernal Books because we wanted to be a community resource for people who wanted to make their own art.
It now shares space with Anne Friend's gallery, where her husband Nick points out one of the Riso art prints.
This is a piece, Cancel Rent. It feels very appropriate at the moment.
That's because the building has once again changed ownership.
And our rent's about to go up for the third time. In July, we're set to be paying close to $6,000 a month.
That's a lot for the 1,200 square foot shop that's shaped like a slice of pizza. But the Bernals have lovingly decorated every inch.
It's stressful to think about moving all of this stuff. Some of the elements we've built into the building.
It's crazy to think about the amount of work we put into customizing it and figuring out how it should all work.
The Bernals say that's part of what makes the space so special. Amanda ponders what could be lost if spaces like Bernal Books go away.
I think we lose our ability to connect with each other on a real level because there are very few third spaces left. Our opportunities for connecting with each other, especially like as creative people in the city, are so limited and are so institutionalized. So I think there's a ton to lose there because people really feel disconnected from each other already, and to give them a place to be together where we're not asking anything from them besides like their presence and participation is pretty rare, I would say.
But Bernal Books is nothing if not adaptable.
We've been in garage spaces. We've literally printed out of our garage. We've had a little shop behind Verbatim Books where we started out, and now we're in this space. And I feel like we can make a lot of different things work for us because we are adaptable.
Having to make the change has created the ability to see, like, okay, what's growth look like then? So to find that next place, I think we can look at it as an opportunity for us.
We're big dreamers and big idea people over here, so we tend to see opportunities everywhere. But maybe it's that kind of psychotic optimism that has brought us here in the first place. But it's working for us so far. So what can I say?
Sharing that psychotic optimism, I'm Beth Accomando for KPBS News.
That's it for the podcast today. This podcast is edited by Brooke Ruth and hosted and produced by me, Lawrence K. Jackson. As always, you can find more San Diego news online at kpbs.org. Thanks for listening and have a great day.
KPBS On Demand is supported by the San Diego County Toyota Dealers, offering a new 2025 lineup of vehicles at your local Toyota dealer, including a new Tacoma with turbocharged 4-cylinder engines and a hybrid powertrain option. The San Diego County Toyota Dealers. We make it easy.